What's going on, friendly neighborhood nerds? That was smooth ass multitasking. Because I'm playing shit on the background right now. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing?
Good. Excited.
G Money, Dan Nanahuye. That's in the chat. What's up? So we're here to talk about your number one fan, Matt Munoz. What's up, Matt? Suicide Squad. We just get right to it. Suicide Squad.
Should we give a spoiler warning?
Yeah. So right out the gate, this is gonna be spoilery. Spoilery as fuck. Scenes, who dies, who doesn't die, who ends up actually being alive at the end. All that's gonna be good stuff here. I know Dan will be kind of, as usual, Danny will be in a kind of a school of his own, in a team of his own when it comes to my feelings are finally a good DC movie. What do you think, Chris?
I think James Gunn's a hack, and this movie's a piece of shit.
Do you really? No, you're lying.
I enjoyed it, other than the fact that he killed the best character in the whole goddamn movie, and he should be murdered on the spot for doing so.
It's a good dude. It's a good dude. Is it because everybody says you look like him? So why?
Are we talking about Weasel now, or?
G Money. What did you think about this?
So wait, finally a good DC. Did you not see Birds of Prey then?
Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, Shazam was fun. Birds of Prey,
No,
I'm going to tell you.
I literally just Birds of Prey.
I like it. My favorite DCU movie is the first Wonder Woman. I walked out of there, I'm like, that was badass. That was like a MCU level movie. But I can say that walking out of this Suicide Squad, I haven't felt like that with any movie. This was like that. This was the movie.
No, it was really good. It wasn't the first really good one. But no, it was really fucking good. I think like James Gunn stepped it up a lot as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
100%.
It's interesting to see what he could do with an R rating always.
See, like the parts I liked weren't the things that gave it an R rating.
Okay.
Yeah, you could have done this movie without an R rating, but the gore was nice at the same time.
Lo Tigre, what's going on, Cypher? He was going to be here, and then I got a text like, hey, I didn't watch it yet.
Then why are you here?
Don't worry, Cypher. I watched it twice. One for you, one for me.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I watched it again today.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Why not?
Yeah.
It is that good. It's that good. But you're saying that Birds of Prey was a better movie, or that you enjoyed it more?
I think they're both top tier DC EU movies. I think like for me, it's like, this and Birds of Prey are tied for like, fuck, that was great. And then like, Shazam is just a great movie to watch with the family.
Sure.
Sure.
When people say like,
and then that's the end of my list.
Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Birds of Prey all have a flaw in my eyes.
Wonder Woman has a big flaw for me.
And this one doesn't really have a big flaw to me, other than the fact they killed the best character in the DC universe.
I agree.
What's the flaw for you, Jay?
With Wonder Woman?
Mm-hmm.
Gal Gadot.
Okay. All right. People had a similar flaw with Black Widow.
Oh, and so, dude, that's what I've discovered after seeing. I really liked Black Widow, and I didn't expect to. So I went out, and now I've like read a bunch of Black Widow and been like playing as the character. And like as it turns out, I really like Black Widow. I just don't like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
That's it. All right.
The problem with the big issue with Wonder Woman is the plot. It literally has this amazing plot of like there's nothing behind evil, like, and there's not some omnipotent being that like is controlling us. Like sometimes evil just happens, blah blah, and at the end it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there was an omnipotent God behind the whole thing, and everything I've been saying for the past hour and a half is bullshit.
That's true.
That's the fatal flaw with Wonder Woman to me. It's still a good movie. I still enjoy it, but that's the fatal flaw with it.
It's fun. I thought it did a lot of really good stuff. I think for like sort of for female representation. Good job. You gave a white woman a lead role.
Right.
But like, I don't know, it let her like have thighs that jiggled. I enjoyed that. Like the No Man's Land scene is badass. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Whenever I think of Wonder Woman, the whole movie is the No Man's Land crossing.
Yeah.
So all I think about like, but that scene, movie's great. Like,
when I thought like the group dynamic, but we're not here to talk about Wonder Woman.
No, it's fair. I mean, we're talking about. So you mentioned a couple good DC movies. For me, this is like the best one that I've seen. I don't feel the same way about Birds of Prey. It was a good movie. I like seeing it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I need superpowers in my life. So even Black Widow. Excuse me. Probably shouldn't be drinking soda during the stream, but even Black Widow was like choreography, the fights, the cinematography. Everything was beautiful, but there was no superpower. So, like for me,
hey, Red Guardian is crying right now.
You're right. But even that, like, it's so good. I'm glad you brought that up. Even like the Captain America movies, I'm like,
same.
Wait, hold on.
Captain America for me is low tier Marvel, but like that's me personally.
But not Winter Soldier, right?
Winter Soldier is my least favorite MCU movie. Except for Hulk, which frankly shouldn't even be on the list.
I may have to leave.
No, but like
I'm with you, Danny.
If that's what you like, hooray.
That's my favorite MCU
it's a lot of
movie
people's
ever.
favorite. Like it's usually high on the list, but just for me, like
that hurt more than any Zack Snyder comment from anyone I've ever heard.
It's just I find the Winter Soldier like really boring, and also like okay, so it's like oh he's this super soldier and he's so sneaky and no one can find him. Really, because he's spent this entire movie like blowing shit up, like very visibly. Yeah. But sure, he's like so sneaky.
I mean, same thing with Black Widow too, right? Like she didn't do a lot of like. I would like her to do more Jason Bourne and less like jumping off of an exploding airplane. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows where you're at right now.
Like that first, like the first sequence on the boat.
Yeah,
with female spy characters, is they're usually there to like pose and look sexy and not to actually be a good spy.
Femme fatale, as opposed to like just a like a spy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something I thought Kingsman actually did well. Was like the female characters are just the same as the male characters, essentially.
To be fair, I don't think Black Widow really did anything that you wouldn't see in a James Bond movie.
True.
I think it had more depth than any James Bond movie I've ever
seen. I mean, yeah, but I'm just listen. I'm a huge James Bond fan, but what I'm saying is I don't think like yes, there's explosions. She's not very good, but neither is Bond, and we love Bond as a spy movie franchise. So
that's true. I guess I'm looking at her less as a spy. I think that's my problem. I was looking at her less like as a spy and more as like a ninja. Like she can get in and out of anywhere. Nobody knows what she's at. Nobody knows her real name type stuff, you know, her actual origin. And yet she's like super out there. But I guess if she's sneaky.
All I want now is a scene of Black Widow skiing down that avalanche. like Pierce Brosnan did in that last movie. Yeah. But Viola Davis. Holy shit.
Scary.
Like, I'm really glad I'm not her kid. I would never want her to yell at me.
Yeah. So okay, let's get into it. Let's talk.
Let's talk about the Suicide Squad a little bit.
Well, what I was going to say was let's talk least favorite scenes. I want to know, like, do you guys want to start off with like favorite scenes, like favorite moments, or do you want to talk of like?
I can get my complaint out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, let's do that because I can't even.
And this is kind of like a thing with all James Gunn movies. I love his pacing, but the title cards after watching it the second time, like stylistically they're cool, but they do kind of take you out of the movie. Especially the Operation Jotunheim that turns into Operation Harley.
Mhm.
That one lasts so long because of the transition. And as I was rewatching the movie, I'm like, huh, okay. It reminds you, oh, you're watching a movie, which some like that. That's probably rewatching the movie. That was my least favorite thing. And he does it all the time. Like in the Guardians movie, he does it as well. Which I don't know. I feel like I don't need to be told when we're moving on to the next chapter of the movie.
Yeah, but it's like a entertainment style, like a Deadpool, but more of like a meta Deadpool where it's a director throwing the fourth wall at you versus the character.
Yeah, like the last one was cool.
Just because you don't need it doesn't mean a stupid reviewer doesn't.
Yeah.
Like me,
Whoa.
because I love those.
Sitting right here.
Like I live for creative use of like scene transitions. I love Edgar Wright because he does like creative scene transitions.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have to tell me in a way that's creative. Like I love the toilet seat transition because like that's told me something about the scene I'm watching.
Mhm.
So like if you're gonna use something that takes me out of the movie, make it useful. Plus, it reminds me of a comic.
Yeah, that looks good. That's like the start of a new issue there. I swear there was one scene, and it was the one where the leaves were like they were coming off the beach and they were walking in a row, and the leaves made the line.
Yeah.
Whoever was walking in the back, I think Polka Dot Man, I swear he looked down at it. Like I'm gonna watch it again, but there was one where I'm like. I think he's reading the sign. I think the guy goes. So I was like, I wonder if they're doing some like fourth wall.
Yeah,
but I like
it wasn't all of them. I love the last one, the Suicide Squad versus Star of the Conqueror.
Yeah,
like you're right. That is like straight out of the comics. The toilet one was good. It was the other one that somebody's speaking and then the sentence is completed by the dirt. Something about taking off their heads, and then like I said, the Harley one, like those that really felt like they really took me out of the movie, but not all of them. Like the blood at the beginning was cool, like the Savant's blood in the water making the Warner Brothers. That was cool.
So we had a bet driving to the theater about who would be the first character to die, and Dakota, my fiance, was like, "I bet it's gonna be Pete Davidson. I bet you anything it's gonna be Pete Davidson," and he was 100% right, and I'm so happy.
Was he the first one?
Well, since Weasel didn't die,
yeah.
I kind of want to know, like, if he negotiated, I want to be the first one to die, or I want my face blown off, because that seems like very on brand for him.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really. So, I didn't watch all the trailers. Did anybody else know that the start was going to be like that? Because I swear, I thought Pete Davidson was going to be like, I thought they showed these characters, Pete Davidson, Mary Poppins, I don't know the actor's name, but
Michael Rooker.
That was going to be my complaint, is it's not the movie, it's the marketing. So they made it very obvious that Peacemaker, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and Bloodsport were the main characters.
Yeah.
And then they also kind of took those characters and did the typical bad movie production thing, which is let's show all the funniest jokes in the trailers. So a lot of the jokes that I kind of wish I wasn't in the space and I was able to like not watch those trailers.
Yeah.
So they could have hit a little bit better, but that's not a fault of James Gunn. That's a fault of Warner Brothers, which isn't shocking.
It's such a weird first world complaint, but like if I could make arbitrary rules, like 10 arbitrary rules, one would be like, I want directors to be the one who cut their trailers.
Yeah.
And then just give us one good one.
Yeah.
You get one trailer for your movie, and then that's like
Yeah.
You got to build the hype. I don't know if directors know what works in advertising, though. I think that's why there's a difference between directing and advertising.
Fine, give them an advisory board, but like, no, the director needs to be in the room there because there's been so many really terrible trailers.
Well, did you all see that like fake quote that's been going around from Feige, basically saying like we're not going to do a trailer for Spider-Man, and then it's like hidden in the bottom corner, like he never really said this.
I don't know that. I mean,
like,
I don't know that's his call. That's not really his call. That's Sony's call, right?
Well, that's not the point. It's just it's something to fuck with people, and then like they realize in the bottom corner it says I never said this. But like, I would be all for that at this point. And yeah, you couldn't do that with a lot of movies, but in terms of a MCU movie in particular, but even this one, it's just like all you had to say was James Gunn, like, Suicide Squad.
Just do teasers, like just the 10-second trailers. Like I'm fine with that.
The little trailers we get now at the beginning of trailers. That's
the one thing I don't want is whatever the fuck Netflix does, where they're like, "Oh, we'll just play a 30-second scene from the movie." I don't want to watch a 30-second scene from the movie. I want to watch a trailer that gives me an idea of what the movie's about.
How about But worse than that, though. Worse than that, only because of the amount of spoilers. Have you seen those fucking trailers that are just like you reach the end of it and you're like, well, I don't need to see the movie now because you gave me like a beginning, middle, and end. Like you're like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. I feel like they do that a lot in horror movies.
See, like I assume that anything I'm seeing in the trailer is not going to ruin the movie, but I have been wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
the first few
punchlines here. I think you're right, Chris. I mean, even the whole you put Superman in a hospital with the kryptonite bullet, like I feel like that even
also show me that movie,
huh?
Or show me that movie,
yeah,
please.
I don't think they said that in an accident. I hope that's a setup for something else. I hope. I hope this whole that it's not really a sequel. It's a standalone. Please be fucking with me, because
sometimes you just want to be lied to.
Yeah,
I think it's just sad because at this point we don't have a connected universe, so they can basically do it. They could have said like I butt fucked Superman with a kryptonite, and it wouldn't have, and like it wouldn't have mattered because there's no fucking Superman in this universe.
He's dead. Isn't it sad that Superman actually punched a hole in Batman's face, and then he was killed immediately after by the power of the like. Wow, that sucks. Okay, on with the rest of the movie because I can say whatever I want because it's a standalone movie. Like,
so I kind of like. I hope that doesn't lead to something because it kind of is funner as just a side quip.
Okay.
Yeah. That we never
to imagine that panel from the comics over and over again.
Yeah. Like I feel like my imagination of what happened is probably gonna be better than whatever Warner Brothers puts on film, anyways. So I don't know. That's just me.
But the first few trailers, you're right. I mean, they focus a lot on the first group at the beach more than it wasn't until later on that we really figured out, oh, this movie is only about really the second group, except for Flag, which I made a note, like Amanda Waller sent Flag to die.
Yeah.
And right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she's done with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy shit, fucking Waller. Like, yeah, Waller is the worst.
So I don't read a lot of DC. Is Amanda Waller this big a piece of shit in the comics?
Oh, yeah.
If not more.
Okay.
Whoever plays her perfect because she has like just the right amount of badass and just the right amount of like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
That just is perfect. Like that role is probably the best role in the whole movie because it's just so on brand.
I feel like she's like the DC's Nick Fury, but like Nick Fury is a good guy-ish, maybe, depending on this.
Depends which Nick Fury. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like when Norman Osborn was the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's it.
Yeah.
Straight up a villain. That's crazy. I'll tell you what I did like in the movie was and then just because it's just telling me things that I already agree with, but you had this like Latin American country that is a shithole, which many are, but they make it very clear. The movie doesn't get super political. I didn't hear the chuds break down and cry about anything, but I could see that it's like, hey, by the way, this place is a shithole because of greater powers that have made it a shithole. Yeah. And I was like,
Well
I
done.
mean, and the colors that they pick for the Costa Maltese flag, like, you kind of know, like, okay, we're talking about this specific region in the world.
That's it.
And if you speak Spanish, like, who talks like that, kind of, in what area of the world they
So,
talk like that.
Is that not a real country?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
DC has
wasn't
those nice
sure.
made up places,
Yeah.
It
so they can
sounds
really go
really
hard.
real.
Yeah.
No, they did a really good job portraying, like,
It was a real nation or something. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was. I mean, that was just interesting. The whole politics of what happened. Like, those poor people in 2 days, they've had like 3 different people in power.
Yeah.
Right. To the point that people on the balcony are just like, oh, it's a giant starfish. What the fuck is happening now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is actually a masterclass on how to do politics and these kinds of things, because it doesn't beat you over the head, but it has a very distinct message. And there's actually 2 very distinct messages, and it doesn't feel preachy.
Right. Like when they stop and someone has to like do like this monologue and like, what?
By the way, everybody, this is why this is bad. Although there kind of is in that moment where they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the US is behind all of this. But I mean, it's still like the way it's done is done well.
Yeah.
Because once I was rewatching it, like, they put all those seats in there that the US is behind. Like, my main thing on the rewatch was to look out for all the clues of both the Peacemaker turn and then the reveal that the US was really behind all this stuff, right?
Right.
And yeah, like, Gunn's really good at doing all that. Like, there's a lot of things that pay off that you're given at the beginning, but obviously watching it the first time, you don't know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of the funniest bits is when Bloodsport is introduced to Peacemaker, and they start measuring dicks, and he tells them, well, I have smaller bullets. Peacemaker says that at the beginning of the movie, and then that gets paid off at the end of the movie with Bloodsport's better bullet.
That's
right?
There was a lot of like setup and payoff and setup and payoff.
Yeah, Marvel definitely needs to take a note out of take notes of that kind of stuff, because I feel like
I think Marvel needs to be more trusting in their directors, because like, stop just making Marvel movies. Be willing to like let directors make their movies in your universe.
Yeah. But then you get Zack Snyder shit, and it's like,
yeah, but like, I don't know.
I don't. When you're making billions and you're constantly like the top of the, I don't think they're going to be changing anytime soon until they really have a big flop.
No, you're absolutely right.
But Danny, to go back to Wednesday's show, to compare this movie to the original Suicide Squad, I think the most important thing here is all that setup and who's behind it all along is big, because it gives a reason for us to have the Suicide Squad and not just the Justice League. Where the old Suicide Squad movie, it felt like, well, why didn't you just call it Justice League?
Yeah,
right.
Too dangerous. They won't do it.
Well, I guess Superman's dead at the time. But I guess, I mean, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but
no, I'm just saying.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah,
that's really good for this movie. That like, there's actually a reason that we pulled in the Suicide Squad,
right?
Yeah, because she's a bad guy, and that makes it. I like it. That makes a lot of sense. Sorry,
they have to be covert, and they
and if Clark or any of those other characters found out that the U.S. was behind it, it would have been blasted everywhere right away. Like,
that's right.
I kept forgetting this was a DC movie because it was good.
Oh my goodness!
What happened? What happened to Birds of Prey and all that stuff? They are the exception. So
Birds of Prey feels like it's been so long since like it came out because of the year that we've had. Yeah. But it was only last year, like March of last year or something. It hasn't even been
2 years ago.
Was it 2019?
It was February 2019. I know because I took my girlfriend to see it Valentine's Day before we went into lockdown.
I thought it was a lot of people's. No, February 2020, right?
No, 2019.
Well, no, I'm saying the lockdown started in 2020 March. Yep.
I thought a lot of people that was their last movie they watched in the theaters.
I mean,
I think that was the last
we
one
all
I
have
saw.
Google right in front of us. Let's see.
Yeah, no, it has. I'm pretty sure.
Or am
it's
I
last-
mixing up years? I might be mixing up years, yeah, because
Yeah, no, 2020.
G said
yeah.
time is a
Oh my
construct.
god.
Well,
I don't
see,
even try anymore. Like
I
I
know
don't
it's
do time
February.
zones. I don't do years.
I was
just-
being gaslit by Chris, and I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit, you're right."
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 2020. Sorry.
But it feels like it's been forever since I
Yeah.
watched it in
It
theaters.
feels like 2019.
Hey, Miracle Man, I sent you the link in Twitter. Bring your ass in here.
Dude, I'm like, okay, so I hated going a year without movies, but I do have to say, like, I'm sort of really happy for the Green Knight because there were so many people when we went to go see it at like a random, usually not popular time for a showing. Yeah, there were like 15 people there,
You
which like
got the Delta variant.
for like
Right.
a Studio A24
100%.
movie, really? But yeah,
Wow.
like so, like I think these little artsy movies are gonna get a boost just because people are desperate for fucking anything.
anything.
I think it's funny. Like I saw A24. We'll get back on Suicide Squad here in a second. But I saw A24 and I was like excited. Everybody else was like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, am I the only one that fucking loves the shit out of A24?
No, we're
Dude, I
trying to
fucking
pimp that
love
out.
A24.
Yeah, we're trying to pimp that out in the channel because they make interesting stuff. It's weird.
Yeah,
I can't say everything's good, but everything's definitely weird and interesting.
it's worth watching at the very
Yeah.
least.
All right, let's talk
Suicide Squad.
characters here. G, you made a
What?
list. You made
I
a list
did.
of who your favorite characters are.
I think we can all agree Sebastian is the hero of this movie.
I love the shit out of Sebastian.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely,
I'm guessing there's gonna be a boost in like rat sales after this.
which is sad because anytime that happens, not to be a bummer,
Right.
it turns into a bunch of fucking abandoned pets. But yeah,
Then we get Rat Kings, and just all goes downhill from there.
yeah. Let's see here.
I wouldn't mind a Ratcatcher 2 TV show as well, like a spin-off out of this.
That's what my partner's been saying is like we need a rat catcher movie now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ratcatcher.
So I know you guys
Squirrel.
on every stream I've seen have been talking about James Gunn doing a crossover with the MCU. The crossover we need after this movie is Ratcatcher 2 and Squirrel Girl.
Yep, you said that.
Oh my
and I stole your
God.
idea and made it a tweet.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Yep, I got
Yeah.
one like out of it, so I owe you a like.
that's one more than I would have gotten.
They already have a Squirrel Girl that they had cast
Which
for
is-
something, right?
Yeah, but that
No.
got canceled.
No, okay.
My only complaint, and I don't even know if it's a complaint with this movie, if it leads to a crossover, is that ending was absolutely jacked from Squirrel Girl. Like, that's her move.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, though. So she's like super bubbly. The other one is super sweet, and they are rivals at first, and then they learn to combine the squirrels and the rats.
I think their goals would ultimately align because, like, she is
Yeah.
the most wholesome of all of them.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
DC comic
Yeah.
readers, what makes her a villain? Why is she on this Suicide Squad?
Well, she robbed a bank.
Well,
I think
because
it's just
she's been
because of the system.
marginalized.
The system, Robo.
Yeah,
Not to get too political, but the
Man.
system. Yeah, the
Yeah.
system
Ah,
put her in that
she
position.
was born homeless. Like, what's she supposed to do?
But is she really she was a bank robber? Like I know they
Yeah,
tried to give the origin story in the movie, but I mean like
They say in there, and they even say, like, she says it's bullshit because she robs a bank, so they charged her with bank robbery with a deadly weapon, and they called the rats the deadly weapon. That was the clinger
Which she
on
then
that.
spends the movie proving right.
right.
Yeah,
Like I feel like one of these things is not like the other. Like you have all these like people that are actual just insanely just evil. Like you got a hitman.
There's a few people I don't feel like I don't think Weasel deserved to be in
Kill
jail.
children. I want to know his back.
Hey, he's a
Yeah.
giant weasel. What is he supposed to eat?
Yeah. You know what?
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have him out in like society.
Right?
think
I'm
Robo's
not
trying
saying
to
he
hit with-
not saying he
He's trying
belongs
to-
in Blackgate,
Yeah.
but you
I
definitely
think he
can't have him in
belongs in
society.
a zoo, maybe.
In a zoo.
You know?
Is he? If he's sentient, I don't know. I think he deserves to be put down.
No. I think captivity would be fine. Like if we can keep people in jail, why can't you keep Weasel in like a nature preserve?
That's
Or you could use him as like an exterminator.
you let him out.
Yeah.
but then that implies maybe not sentience though. Like,
I think Rob was trying to hypnotize the crowd with this gift because I am so dizzy from looking at the screen.
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
Talk to me about this. Talk to
Oh, TDK.
me.
Also, I think we
Dude.
got. Do we have Miracle Man in the
Wait,
system?
is he here? Let's see. Yep. Fucking miracle.
TDK.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's
Hey.
going on?
Hey.
Real quick, G. I just have to say they kind of did use him as an exterminator, right? I mean, that was the
Oh, nice.
idea, right? I mean,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
throwing, they wanted the weasel to exterminate the shit out of some Corto Maltesians. That's what they wanted
Exactly.
to exterminate. You know?
You're right. You're right.
So I guess yeah, I'd love to see where he was being kept. You know, maybe this was a good deal for him.
Right.
And also knowing what that team was supposed to do, it kind of like with both of our ideas. They were sent here to exterminate as much as possible, but also this was their way of putting them down. Like we gotta
Right.
make
Did anybody else find it odd that the decoy team had Rick Flag on it?
No,
Yeah,
I
we were
brought
talking about
that up.
beginning.
Yeah, I brought that up. That like
Yep.
Amanda Waller's done with him.
Yep.
Right. Well, clearly.
And Harley.
And
Yeah,
Harley at that.
and Harley.
Yep.
And Boomer.
And TDK apparently.
To be
That
fair, I think Waller's probably been trying to kill Captain Boomerang for years.
yeah.
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 You know
The
what's
night-
sad is if this is if this is a standalone, we won't actually get to see any kind of consequence or comeuppance for Amanda Waller, and even further than that, you can't even headcanon it because they fucking killed him.
All
So it's like you in your head, you're like, man, just wait. Ooh, just imagine when he gets back, he's gonna fuck her up.
Well,
Well, so there is a Peacemaker show coming,
Yeah.
which I guess now we can say happens after this movie.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
was
it's
pretty
gonna be set up.
convinced that he was going to be one of the casualties. He was the only person who survived that I was surprised by. I thought for sure he was dead, and what we were going to get was the prequel. You know, how does a peacemaker become the peacemaker? How does he end up with a toilet seat on his head? Hashtag symbol of freedom. Yeah. You know. But you know that kind of blew me away that he survived it. But that's a spoiler, right? That's a spoiler. Yeah.
We're talking spoilers.
Oh, we're being
It's all
spoiled.
spoilers, yeah.
Okay, good.
I think I gotta disagree. I think everybody that died was very obvious in my eyes. Like there wasn't somebody that was set up to be the star of this movie that died other than Polka Dot Man, but he literally made it to the end of the movie.
I was surprised at Flag.
Yeah.
I was surprised at Flag. Yeah, that one came out of nowhere.
God, and they killed him twice, pretty much.
Right. Right.
I think like it sucks that Flag died, but also like I rewatched when we got home last night. I rewatched the first one, which
Yeah.
I like.
I'm
further.
sorry.
I know it's a terrible movie, but I like it.
Me too.
And it's only 50% because Cara Delevingne's face and body.
I don't think I've ever been in a group where more than half of the people like the movie.
There's a lot of people with bad
Yeah.
taste in here. That's fine.
Well, I was watching the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad.
Like, that's right.
I think
this is the day you had to take a day off.
this was like I think a really good epilogue for Flag because you turned him into like basically Scott Summers in the animated series, just like Gene.
Yeah.
Into like
Right.
this character that's like I
June.
was genuinely sad when he died.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the
Also,
thing.
I want to see this actor in other stuff because I think he should be in a comedy. I think he'd be really funny.
If I'm right, and or if my hope comes to pass, and the studio says, "Okay, wow, people fucking love this. We can't just make it a standalone. We're gonna build off this."
Right.
Then it's comic books. Yeah, they showed him stabbed in the heart, but they'll
Make
give
Flag a
robot
cyborg.
harder. There'll
Right.
be Batman will save him. Somebody will happen.
Mhm.
I need him to come back because
Dude, just have June Moon save him. You know,
yeah.
his girlfriend's Enchantress. She can save him.
Oh God.
If y'all remember, if you're familiar with the Suicide Squad run, he died blowing up Jotunheim to begin with, and then 3 volumes later was found to have been in prison the entire time in Quebec, because obviously
go.
that's where Jotunheim was. So they don't even have to show anything. They literally don't have to show anything, and he can just be like, "Oh yeah, he's been alive this whole time."
I gotta say, I haven't read any Suicide Squad prior to New 52.
Mm.
So all that stuff is new information for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel
You're
I'll
welcome.
say though, they're very particular about making sure we see that his heart stops.
exactly.
Right.
Like, not just stop. It's not like they zoomed in and then they slowed.
Pierced.
They did the slow. That motherfucker went in it, and then blood started pouring out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
This
You're gonna
isn't
have to explain that
this
shit.
isn't a situation where it's like, well, we didn't see a body, so I don't know if he's dead.
Right.
Like, no, he's fucking dead.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
let's talk about this one real quick.
Oh, yeah. I made a big note about that.
Like, this dude is like DCEU's Hulk, right? Obviously.
Right.
And I love it. I love it. And this scene right here, of all the shit that we talk, right? We, as in like less than half the room, apparently, of of the DC movies.
Finally.
This is what, this is what we'll never get to see in Marvel.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a Disney flick where they rip a man in half. That's not going to happen.
I do want to see Hulk tear Wolverine in half, though. But
Yeah, like we'll see if they
I mean, we did get Deadpool ripped in half, so there's that.
yeah, that's true.
yeah, but
That's
we
not a
haven't
Disney
seen,
movie.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Disney
Ding.
Deadpool yet. We'll see on
Right.
the next one what
Right.
Disney's willing to do with Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they showed
Oh.
cocky balls in here, so I'm like,
I
Yeah,
want to
that-
trust Disney's grade, but like it'll make you money. So like do it under, a different parent company. Money
Hey,
it.
listen, Disney owns FX and FXX,
Yeah.
and Always Sunny in Philadelphia is still on the air.
Yeah.
So they can figure out a way to give us a good Deadpool. You
but
know?
but I mean,
I trust
in the
their
universe,
greed.
though, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, will it be in the MCU? That's the thing, because
Mm.
even though it's not the 80s anymore, all this shit is still just selling toys.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And
But listen, Disney owned Miramax. Probably still does. So they made Pulp Fiction and Clerks
Yeah.
and all these movies too. Like,
Yeah.
they're not opposed to making R-rated movies, but they're not going to make R-rated movies under the Disney banner. And I
Marvel
really don't think it's going to be something over the
No,
top
they have,
like this in the Marvel banner.
They
Right.
still do Fox Searchlight and stuff like that. I think 2 or 3 movies have come out since the acquisition.
That's fair.
Yeah, but those aren't that's not the Disney banner is what I'm saying,
Right,
or
right.
the Marvel banner. Like, so because like they were making, even in the 90s, they were making these movies, like Pulp Fiction. So yeah.
One quick thing on this shot. So there's the James Gunn tweeted that this shot was made obviously with CG for King Shark and all that, but it's a practical effect for the body that is being torn in half.
No shit.
Yeah. So I can't wait till this is out on like Blu-ray and stuff, and you can watch all the making of.
Man, that poor stunt man.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
No.
I hope his family was taken care of because
Right? That's not a union job. You know that right there.
Yeah, right.
all right, let's see. So here's the deal. Severe mommy issues. I feel like if we got to know this guy a little better, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little incel-y, but
A little.
yeah, given how much he hates his mom. But who knows? Maybe he just hates his mom because she's abusive, and maybe it doesn't go past his mom. But I really remember I said about superpowers. He was one of my favorite characters, not because of character development, not because of his arc, not because of anything, but because of his fucking powers. Like, how fucking dope is that? I shoot
Right.
cosmic virus polka dots at people, and just God,
I mean,
I
it doesn't
have a
seem
little-
too awesome because he wants to die.
Yeah, I have a little bit of that thing where you don't like seeing circles a lot.
Mm.
Oh,
I don't remember what that is.
phobia.
It's not very severe, but like the scenes where he had all the things all over his face,
Oh
like
yeah.
they really weirded me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Not that they
yeah.
glowed. I think if they made him like pussy.
Oh, if they had made Ben holes, I would have probably skipped ahead.
Yeah. That glowed just kind of like my brain was not registering disease because they were glowing colors. I'm like, It'd be like if somebody put a bulb in their mouth or something. So I get it. I'm kind of that way with.
And they comment on it, right? When he first uses it, he's like, "Yeah, I know it's very like whatever," and then Ratcatcher's like, "Yeah, but it looks cool."
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
even in that group, they had the different reactions to it. That's true.
Oh, and
But
Calendarman being a dick to him in
in the middle of
jail.
the eye. Like if I had that power that could just rip apart anything and everything, who's taking off the tip of the starfish leg? Like,
Right.
come on.
Here's the thing. I don't think he really wanted to die. I think that was kind of a bullshit type of thing. Because if he wanted to die, he just wouldn't expel his fucking dots.
That's right. That's right.
As
I mean,
as somebody who's dealt with and suffered from depression for most of his life, no. Like I've been in that. I felt like he did in that scene where I just looked at somebody and was like, I just want to die. And you don't go out there, like some people may go out there and just shoot themselves, but like you don't necessarily do it.
That's fair.
And I
like,
think
Fair.
I just
the
wish
worst-
someone would do it for me, so
Yeah.
I would not have to exist anymore.
Yeah.
and the worst part about it is my real like distaste for him dying outside of the joke that I like the character was that he had his moment and he was happy.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, I'm a superhero. Yes, I'm awesome. And then you're dead.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
What a life, especially since like a lot of so it goes back to what I said earlier about like, okay, we found out that the United States actually fucked this over, but they didn't beat your head over it, right? So they kind of did something similar in that case with this one, where it's like a lot of trauma, a lot of reactions to trauma and villainy, right? And then like this, like you look at this piece of shit, but it's like, wow, his mom literally infected him on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, talk about the level of trauma you have to go through to become fucked up like that. So, I agree with you to where it's like he kind of has to go through that, overcomes whatever the fuck he had to kill the fucking starfish dude, Sorrow, and then just plap dead. Like, wow.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's the way life
But
goes.
hey, his life never got to like get worse again.
That's
Right.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Matter of fact,
Went out
And
on
he-
a high point.
And he got to fight a giant kaiju version of his mother. So
that's right.
That
I
was
really
great.
love those scenes.
That was great.
Yeah, all of them. Like, kind of weirded me out when he was in the club.
At the bar.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
like to be the picture of the things you don't like or the
I
things that are
think-
causing you anxiety. Okay, but he was happy. Like he was dancing. She was still there. I was like,
Right. Right.
I think that this is a character that I think saying he's an incel is too easy. I think he's probably Ace. I think this is a dude that's just moved past
That's a
any
good
sort of
point.
attraction.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, there's some serious mother like Munchausen syndrome type shit going on, and
I think he has too many mommy issues to even think about
yeah, no, that's fair. That's
sexing
fair.
anyone.
All right.
Fair. Yeah.
yeah.
Can't argue
him a
that.
lot. Yeah, those Mulchins are really good. I mean, ever since The Dark Knight, and I think he was also an Ant-Man, so he's found a niche in these
Right.
comic book
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, so Holes, right? You said you didn't like seeing like the
Oh, boy.
stuff. What about
Oh
this?
yeah, this one.
That was fucking disgusting.
Another
armpit?
amazing asexual character.
Yeah.
Listen, all I got to say about that
I don't
scene
care
is
anybody says that's a vagina. That right there.
how does for my entire life I've been familiar with the first appearance of the Justice League, Brave and the Bold. They're all running up the giant Starro monster.
Yeah.
And nobody in their right fucking mind would have thought, oh, we're gonna make a movie with that thing in it. Talk about blowing it away, pulling off a giant fucking starfish
That's it.
walking through a South American city. Like they
Right.
just
Mhm.
nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. You're right. I mean, there's these kind of things like the Watchmen. Like they didn't even want to touch the giant squid, right? I
Right.
mean, it was like,
No one wants to touch the giant squid.
but it's
I
you know what I
speak for
mean?
yourself, G.
How do you even, especially if it's
I don't
this
think
one
so.
right here? How do you even how do you do that? Like,
How do you pitch this so
Yeah.
they'll buy it? Like,
and, oh my god, it's gonna ruin the movie. It's gonna be a giant kaiju. Like, no, they fucking did it and it worked. I loved it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Well, and in the end, we kind of find out like Star was just another victim because the last line was like, "I was happy in space looking at the stars."
Satisfied.
Dude,
Why is
he's
it only weirder like sad about everything dying?
Starro is such a tragic. I can't even say villain because, like, frankly, I think you should have been like, "Yep, one city seems like a fair price for 30 years worth of torture," and packed up and left.
Well, and abused, right? Because the Tinkerer, like he's pretty clear that he abused the people that were wearing the Starro,
which is part of Starro. It's an extension of Starro. So, it's hey Eva, what's going on?
I think the only part I don't like about this movie is the fact that like Starro dies because like that sucks.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I don't think anybody was looking for like happy endings or anything. Here's the payoff. Here's the plus. That last line was the message to go, look, he wasn't just a villain. Yeah, it's sad. And it's gonna be sad. And he's like, he was a giant creature floating in space, just chilling, doing what giant starfish do. You brought up here. This is what happened. It'd be like a giant quasi-sentient bear the size of the whole King Kong stuff. It's like King Kong's not a villain. You brought him to New York and he's fucking shit up because that's what giant gorillas do. Like,
well, he's the bear that comes out of the forest and somebody just gets in the way and dies, or the gator that eats somebody because they just got in the way. Like, he's the animal that was just doing what he was doing.
Yep.
And then we did something to drag him in, and now he's retaliating. It's like, oh, you're bad. Actually, no. But
yeah, this is great right here. Well said. Well said. It was as good as the last.
You just want someone to agree with you.
Does it count?
Half. That's it. That's 3-3.
It only counts as if it's people on screen.
Yeah.
All right, Robo, you got the commands. You can start kicking people off screen.
Yeah.
Listen, the first
man, if I had known.
Listen, the first Suicide Squad is far more maligned than it deserves. Give credit where credit's due. Hold on. Give credit where credit's due, Chris. Listen, I will fight you. Give credit where credit is due. You have the introduction of each character in the original Suicide Squad. Not to get too far off topic, but the introduction of each character, where they come up and they give you that list. Here's your character. Here's why they're in prison. Here's what they're good at. Bam, 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 bam. Have you seen a more comic book scene in a movie ever?
Thank you.
Yeah, but they fucked that scene up right off the bat.
I'm not saying they didn't have errors. I'm saying there's pieces of that film that are the best versions of a comic book film ever.
Here's my thing. Just because it's comic booky doesn't mean it's good.
Yes.
I think that was good. I think there were some problems with it, but I still think that was good. The Captain Boomerang one, let me tell you how many times I went back and looked to see, yep, they definitely said pink unicorn stuffies are his fetish.
And the Flash shows up to catch him.
Fuck yeah. That is just great, man. That is just great.
Poses at him.
Right.
In jail.
Right. Like, everybody gets to have an opinion, Chris, so you can be wrong on this one. But Suicide Squad is awesome.
This just sounds like somebody this sounds like a DC fan who's in an abusive relationship and has to make an excuse for their piece of shit. That movie.
Listen, I could have had Batman versus Superman, or I could have had Man of Steel, or I could have had the first Justice League. I got Suicide Squad, so shut the fuck up, Chris.
And some of us do have those at the top of their list. Well, that's why I share my list, because it starts with 3 Zack Snyder movies.
Yeah.
Speaking of one quick thing, the one thing I did catch, and it's a Zack Snyder thing, because he is a producer on this thing, which was
anyway, and his wife.
Yeah. They play that song at the beach, People Who Died.
Yeah.
It's the same song that closes out Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead movie. And I was like, oh, that's so, like, if James Gunn just chose it because it's a good song, that's cool. If he chose it because of Zack Snyder, that's even cooler. Or they just both have really good taste in music.
Could be a little bit of both.
I felt bad for the people in the theater next to me. Well, the one that I'm not like sleeping with. Because like I was jamming out to the music in this movie and probably like disturbing the seats around me, but like I couldn't help it because like, damn.
Hey, the music was phenomenal.
In the theater, you were playing it on your phone?
No.
Oh, wait.
Like the music in the movie was playing, and I was like,
oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were like had it like while the rest of the movie was going. You're playing.
no, I don't.
Every-
I don't even bring my phone to the movie because why would I need my phone in a movie?
Everyone was like,
Opening
"Who
night,
brought
no
glow
less.
sticks?
Oh, look at that.
Why did somebody bring glow sticks to the screening?"
I'm talking about the guy kitty corner in the seat in front of me.
Oh,
Why would you bring your phone?
Hey, Dakota, I'm with you. Like,
What did you go-
gotta have your phone.
See, G, you need to become as big of an asshole as me and actually stand up and yell at them and shame them publicly
I
like they
will.
deserve.
But he was too far away from me. So like,
There's
I
no
couldn't-
such thing. I've gotten up at the back of the movie and be like, "You need to turn your fucking cell phone off," and had my girlfriend just be like, "Shut the fuck up!
I
Shut the
forgot
fuck
to
up!"
bring it. We bought a laser
Fucking New
pointer so we could like, hey, but we keep forgetting to bring it.
and I don't know if y'all have Alamo draft houses where you
Oh!
live, like in your area,
Nope.
Yeah.
because you
Go to
can
hell, Danny.
you can report people.
Can
So
you?
you can get-
Yeah, you got fucking
Yeah.
team numbers and shit.
Yeah, you put a little slip with like, "Hey, this douchebag's using a phone or whatever."
Yeah.
I've never written one because everyone's
That's
well behaved. As far as I've gone, everyone's really well behaved. I love it. After 6 p.m., there's nobody on there. Like, there's no kids allowed at
Mhm.
screens. Really, really nice.
No, where I live, we have the last like independently owned movie theater in the world.
The one that only has like 2 on each side of the concession stand.
No, we have like 10 screens,
Oh,
but like the person who owns the theater lives in the town I live in. Like so it's I know the person who owns it, and I know people have worked for him.
You're
And
not the only one.
oh, they're the only ones. But like, so I go there just out of support of like local business and all that stuff. But I'm still not.
See, I want to support ours because it's we have like just like Mike and Connie who own these theaters, but like they don't enforce people not being on their phone at all. Also, don't try to book your fucking wedding through them. It's fucking impossible. Anyway,
so hold on. So like, what if my brightness is all the way down and I kind of cover?
no, everyone can see it.
Step out
No.
into the hall.
Yeah, leave the theater.
Like everyone can see it. It's
Like,
super
but
obvious.
It's a really important. What if it's a really funny Facebook
If
stat?
it's really important, then you
No.
should leave the theater because you should really
Yeah,
focus
2
on it
seconds,
then.
2 seconds. I
If
mean,
it's
like,
really important. Or
spoil
Chris and I
it.
will yell at you. We will find you and we will yell at you.
All right, Chris.
No, we have entered at this point. We have entered a social contract
Yeah.
where once we go into those doors, everything goes away. Your phone goes away, everything, and you're only there for the movie. And if you don't want to be there for only the movie, then get the fuck out.
Apparently, Chris lives in the best town on earth because that has not been my experience the last 9 times I went to the theater, which is why those were all several years ago.
I will say this much. I get it. Even my way is not acceptable. I know how you feel though, because I hate when people don't have their phone on silent and I can hear the texting keyboard. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I hate when people have their things super loud and they just have it all out. I think me turning my brightness and covering it so I can see what's going on my phone, I think that's acceptable.
Everyone can see it.
You know what? You know what you could do though? Sit all the way in the back.
That's if you want to be in your phone, sit in the back row. Like that's the deal.
Or behind me. but
I'll
you
accept
know,
that.
so-
Yeah. Hey, you sent me this picture right here. Talk to me. What's going on here?
So I'm going to make a very controversial statement that might get me canceled here, but Mr. Pibb is far superior to Dr. Pepper.
It's true.
So this scene is just phenomenal because we get full promotion here on the greatest soda of all time.
Okay.
Well, that part will get you canceled because that is not true. But it is better than Dr. Pepper, that's for sure.
What's the best soda?
Root beer.
I don't even know if you can call root beer a soda.
Sarsaparilla?
So
I don't
root beer
think that's
really
fair.
shouldn't count as a soda because like it's in its own. It's like a rabbit. It's not a rodent. It's kind of its own thing.
That's fair. That's fair.
I did not know that.
Carbonated sugar water.
I'm a birch beer man myself.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice birch beer. Though again, birch beer I don't think falls under soda. I think
Like grape soda, like
I
grape
think
crush.
I think birch, sarsaparilla, root beer. I think those are all kind of their own category of carbonated flavored sugar drink. And soda, you got to look at your colas, your grapes, your oranges, your cherries. If you're lucky and you live in a good area, your strawberries and your lemon lime.
Anything that's good as a float.
Well, that would be root beer, right?
No, you can do like root beer, orange soda,
Orange
strawberry.
soda, yeah.
You can do a black cow, which is Coca-Cola and ice cream.
You're blowing my mind right now, G.
Go try it.
You've never had Coca-Cola and ice cream? It's really good.
That really? All right, I'm gonna try that. I'm
It's
literally
the
writing a
original
note right now.
frozen cola.
The one thing Coca-Cola needs is more sugar on it.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're not gonna give the cocaine back, we have
Yeah.
to
I bet you this guy does Coke and ice cream, no problem.
Okay, so I want to know with Weasel, like in the behind the scenes, did they pad Sean Gunn's like mocap outfit, or does he really have like that belly? Because like I love it.
Yeah.
I want to know if that
The way
was
he
just
walks-
him with horrible posture.
Yeah, he's got the little long arms and stuff.
I want to see. We definitely need to see more of this guy here.
Yeah.
Also, the team that Waller has on like the base, they don't do a lot of research on these people.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't. They didn't know Weasel couldn't swim. They didn't know about the rats for Bloodsport. It feels like they're just being surprised at every turn. So
The Weasel thing made me laugh because it is a very out. Like, why would you ask if they could swim?
yeah,
Right.
It feels like that's a grown man.
can they even respond to you? If
Excitedly,
they
he
can...
jumps into the water. He doesn't know how to swim.
It was a fantastic.
That was great. And you see it. You see Savant. Go up there. Savant or
Yeah.
Savant.
Savant.
See Savant go up there and pull him out, and like, it looks like he's really gonna be on top of it. Like, it's Michael Rooker, so you're like, he's got this shit.
Yeah.
And then his
He's
I don't know
dead.
if we call it heel turn, but yeah, it does not end well for him. That's for
Right.
sure.
Did anyone else think he was going to try CPR on Weasel?
I did for a
Yeah.
second. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
God, don't.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I was like, James Gunn would do that.
I kind of
Oh, yeah.
wanted him to.
I don't know how
Definitely.
you get a seal on that. You'd have to put your thing around the whole snout.
He's got the hair.
That would be unpleasant.
Yeah.
That's for
Savant was a good
Not
point.
You've tried it.
Weasel, pointy teeth mouth with the giant tongue.
It'd be fun.
Savant was a good point of view character to like put. He was kind of like if we were there. Like that's how we would be reacting to all this shit that's going on. I love it. Harley just cuts loose immediately with the rocket launcher.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I got one. Finally, I remember when you brought that up. The one thing I didn't like. What I love about Harley Quinn is that she's insane and doesn't give a fuck, and it's awesome. I'm not gonna call her a Mary Sue, but what I am gonna say is in this movie, they powered her up. There's two scenes in there that I'm like, what? And that's when she took that big ass dude while she's been hanging by chains for days, hours. I don't know. So she's got to be hurting, right? Because she doesn't have superpowers.
Right.
She has enough mental strength to make it through torture. I'm fine. She wrapped her legs around the dude. Hold on. I'm okay with her using her leg strength to kill him. No, this lady pulls herself up, and you look at her, she's like this, and she's carrying him. I'm like, no fucking way. No way.
Right.
Okay, in the first Suicide Squad, what is she doing when she's killing time?
What, working out?
She's
Working
doing,
out.
She's doing aerial ropes.
Yeah.
So this is something she spent a lot of time doing.
Not
So
picking
she
up
probably and I don't know if you know
Actually,
anyone who does
body
aerials,
weight work.
but
That's
like
body
you
weight
get
work.
mad good thighs.
They make an excellent point right there. That's a great tie-in back to the original film. and the sheer brilliance of one of the best comic book films ever made, the original Suicide Squad film.
Yeah.
Where, absolutely, and
I don't believe that.
I love this scene.
I told you
so
I thought.
glad I gotta leave soon.
I told you I loved
Do
Mystery Men.
You need to bow out, or you good for a little bit?
I'm good for a little bit.
But no, that's a good point right there, because that really does tie it back together. You're absolutely right. She was doing that in the first film, and while she was doing it, you kind of see it as a throwaway scene a little bit. In that, obviously she's got to work out, so she's going to do something.
Mhm.
But James Gunn saw that and was like, "Meh, how about we tie it all together?" And we call back to when she was doing it in her cell in the very first appearance, and she just grabs this dude up, lifts him up off the ground, and snaps his neck with those thighs. And
we're getting like shocked. Like, dude, look at again in the first one when they show the Joker torturing her. Like, what they're doing to her is nothing.
In the
compared to
extended
what
cut,
the
she gets
Joker
shocked even more.
Yeah.
Look. All I'm saying is that I used to be really big into fitness, and there's two different kinds of fitness, and there's like body weight fitness and gymnast type fitness, and then there's like weightlifting fitness. What she was doing on those ropes, I would accept. I would even go further. Let's say and it took 2 seconds. Like, let's say the joke of the scene, like if I was James Gunn, I would go, okay, now she's ready, and she wraps her legs around him and goes snap, and then boop, and then she pops herself down. I'm like, whoa, that was fucking funny, because she could have done that the whole time. Perfectly okay. I would be saying nothing. What gymnastics type stuff is not going to be able to do, if you don't add weights to your thing, is to take your 120-pound self and then lift him all the way up like that. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
There's a man who's a shark.
Right.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Fam.
Well, no, but
I
she
hate
when
now because
when Bloodsport tells her to go high, she jumps up that building pretty like.
That's the second one. No, that's the second one. That's
then I think what the movie's saying, that maybe Harley Quinn does have a little something to enhance her.
I've been saying that about Batman Forever. I know this would be the most unpopular move ever. I know Batman fans would fucking hate me. But when Batman sat on the Mobius chair, it disconnects, I promise. When Batman sat on the Mobius chair.
You're talking Batman, I don't care if it connects or not.
Well, yeah. If he sat on the Mobius chair and they retconned Batman, not retcon, but said at this point right here, Batman has superpowers. And let's say they just kept it at that. Like superpowers on a Captain America level for his mind, right? And now when we start talking about prep time and how he can know everything and how he'll outthink you way ahead, I'm down. I'm for it. The Mobius chair gave you some special
They
shit.
would just make him Midnighter?
Basically. So literally, there's a comic coming out soon, and the whole premise is Batman. But if he was existing in our world, and the truth of that is if Batman existed in our world, he would be dead on night 1.
Wait a minute. Did you just say there's another Batman book coming out? Because that blows my mind right now.
Exactly, because DC can't publish anything but Batman.
Yeah. When I saw Batman Reptilian, I was like, what? Oh my God. That's what I've been looking for.
there's a
I've
really
heard nothing but good stuff. You really couldn't,
that good stuff.
Batman Reptilian, you couldn't do a Killer Croc series? Like, okay,
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not Killer Croc though, G.
Yeah,
I know it's not that. It's just like I got super excited when I saw it, like Reptilian DC, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna do something with Croc, and they're like, oh no, it's just another fucking Batman title.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a really cool theory that I heard, that because Vandal Savage has been around so long, he has so many descendants now, and that's why like all these people that are supposed to be just base level humans may have a little some Savage in them. So that's why they heal quicker and they may be stronger. Like, it's insane. Like, it's too long for me to go into the long.
That would be explored in
Robo, you want a little Savage
universe.
Look, I'll take some Savage in me if it means I get to heal quicker and I'm stronger.
Right. Actually, you bring that up, and I was actually talking just a little while ago to Judah about something called the Wold Newton universe, which exists in it's a sci-fi thing by an author named Philip Jose Farmer. Mm-hmm. And the whole concept behind it is that this part's true. In like 1586 or 1632 or some shit, a meteorite crashed into the UK, in an area called Wold Newton. The premise behind the world is that there was this carriage of people that were going by right as it crashed, and there was radiation that came off of it. And every single one of the descendants of that carriage full of people became somebody famous or like special, like Doc Savage or Tarzan or Ishmael or all of these literary characters of the early the pulp era. So Vandal Savage having that type of influence and being that permeable into the DC universe, not far outside of the concept, seeing as how he's been around since the time of the fucking cavemen. In fact, if I remember correctly, originally Vandal Savage is Cro-Magnon, not Homo sapien.
Yes.
So there you go.
Interesting. See, and little things like that, I would buy. That's all. Like, just tell me Harley Quinn's a little bit, just got a little bit something extra. Maybe Joker experimented on her or something. That's fine. But when she made that jump from the car roof to the fucking second floor, I was like,
I mean, she fell in a vat of acid and survived.
That's true.
They're already letting you know she's resilient.
Harley Quinn has superpowers. She's somewhat between human and Captain America.
I think she's powered by like righteous vengeance.
I love the scene.
A cooler Batman.
I love her escape scene though, because it reminded me of the Birds of Prey scene where she's in the police station.
Yep.
With all the colors, and like I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and obviously in the first one is more, she actually brings, or maybe she doesn't. I don't know, she's an unreliable narrator, but she brings those different canisters of like confetti and paint and stuff. And then this one's just more like the graphics that turn into flowers, which looks super cool.
That scene was so dope. I really like it.
My favorite part of the scene though was after when she finds them like about the different plan.
And the birds are wait, which one? Those one?
Yeah. So she walks up to Bloodsport flag, and they're about to execute the plan. She goes, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "We were gonna save you. We have a really good plan." And then she like starts to cry. She's like, "Oh, I could go back in if you want." And I was like, "That is fucking Harley right there."
I mean, like it's such a change from how Joker treated her.
Right.
Like he abandons her like 3 times if we do the extended version of the first one.
Right.
Well, and it has
I loved her jacket, her Live Fast Die Clown jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently they did like 3 different versions of that jacket.
They picked the best one.
They did.
Laughed. I laughed awkwardly loud at that. No one else did. There was also a really loud, like, old man laugh at the millennial joke when Ratcatcher 2 doesn't want to get from like the far corner of the theater. There was like, oh.
That was me.
The exact kind of laugh.
The last thing I'll say on that scene that Chris just talked about, when she hugs Rick Flag, I felt like it was really funny because at the end of the previous movie, Flag goes to hug Will Smith, and he's like, "No, man, I'm not into hugs." So he knows what it's like to have a hug rejected, so he doesn't tell Harley to stop hugging him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you can see his face; he doesn't want the hug, but he also knows the rejection from that shot. So.
Yeah. The part where I thought you would talk about at the end was I like background stuff. I'm the kind of movie watcher that stares at extras to like see if they fuck up. Sometimes you like if you look at giant fight scenes, you'll find one extra just doing this over and over again, not really fighting anybody because they're just supposed to create movement.
You should not watch The Last Jedi.
Oh, is there a lot of that?
I love the throne room scene, but there is a whole lot of people just standing doing nothing in the background. But you're not supposed to be looking at them.
That's right. So when Harley Quinn comes out and you look back and now the music's gone, she's back in the real world, but the animated world's still going in the back. I saw the little birds still swinging around and like laughing and dancing. I was like, that's super cool.
Oh, and she shoots the president dude, and I was like, oh, Harley, like. I think Harley's had a pretty interesting journey throughout the 3 movies she's been a part of.
Yeah.
Just from her inception, like she has had one of the greatest character arcs, I think, of any fictional character.
On and off the screen. Like comics and movies, I think they did a really good job with her. So real quick before we start getting to a close here, Milkman. We already went through this on our end, but do you have anything negative to say about the movie? Gotta have something.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me tell you what really grinds my gears.
What's that?
All right, you brought back Jai Courtney just to kill him in
Yep.
3 fucking minutes. What jerk off moron idiot signed off on that fucking deal? Listen, there is 3 things that make Suicide Squad Suicide Squad. I've been reading since the Ostrander run. I have like I don't know what it's like on volume fucking 9 now. And there was like one shots and minis. I stuck it out with Suicide Squad when wheelchair bound Sergeant Rock was leading the fucking team. Actually, Rock wasn't in it, but Bulldozer was. And they were like, they ended that series, and they're like, "Ooh, here's this big cliffhanger," and then they never fucking talked about it again. Okay, I have stuck it out with Suicide Squad. I sat through that first movie, and every single time somebody badmouths it, like Chris, I stand up for that movie. No offense, Chris. I stand up for that movie because there's great pieces of that movie.
Mm.
And then you take one of the breakout characters played by one of the breakout actors. You bring them back. And you know what? I knew it. I knew it when I saw that trailer. I was like, ooh, they brought back Boomerang. Ooh, I don't see him with Harley or Rick Flag in the scenes that are obviously much later. He's definitely fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know, some part of me thought maybe, because I knew it was Starro, some part of me thought maybe Team A gets taken over by Starro, and Team B has to go in there, and they don't want to give that away, that Boomerang's taking over. I was crossing my fingers and hoping, and then they murder him because Mongal is an idiot, and that just pissed me off, man.
I just put this up in the Discord.
This is my favorite role of Jai Courtney ever.
I'm really glad we were all thinking the same.
I don't even know. I don't know what this where's that from.
People don't really run like this. This is when you draw people running. Back perfectly straight, like fucking Jai Courtney.
So
We
yeah.
did- yeah.
So there's my only bash. My only bash is you guys killed off the best. Like, I fucking love Boomerang, man. I love Boomerang. Boomerang makes the book. He's always made the book. People say Deadshot. They'll say this. Boomerang makes that goddamn comic.
Yeah.
Always has. And to just kill him off. Now, the cool thing about Suicide Squad is, okay, maybe this is a standalone film. That doesn't mean you can't come along and make another movie and tell us an adventure that Boomerang had on the squad when Harley was gone between 1 and 2 here, or, you know, not the Suicide Squad.
Right.
It's just called Suicide Squad.
Right. That's what they should call it. And I'd fucking watch the shit out of it. But, you know, if we never get to see him as Captain Boomerang again, DCU has done us all a great disservice.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my
the
opinion.
thing is like, and that kind of reminds me of what you said about Disney. You know, trust in Disney's greed, right?
Right.
We know what we want to see out of Deadpool, and they're gonna figure out a way to give it to us. Same thing here. Like maybe, and I can get it. I get it. Like whatever you guys think about Suicide Squad, whatever your feelings are emotionally about it, it fucking bombed, and more people hated it than not. If you can appreciate it as a comic book fan, the world at large didn't agree. So here comes the second Suicide Squad with James Gunn. They're gonna pay and they're gonna do it, but they're like, yeah, we're not sure about what's going on with this title, but let's go ahead and do this one. Standalone, yeah, sure. This is gonna. Has anybody see the? Well, it just came out yesterday, so I cannot wait to see the opening weekend numbers for this because if this makes a fuck ton of money, this standalone my ass. There's no fucking way they're gonna let this go to waste. No way.
I have
think you're
to
taking standalone wrong. I don't. When I say standalone, like this is not going to connect into Superman. This is not going to connect into Batman or anything else. They could do a sequel to this, but it is its own thing. It's not going to be a part of. It's not like
the
MCU. Yeah,
right. It's not like Iron Man led into Captain America, led into Thor, led into Avengers. You know, I do have to challenge you on one thing, Robo. You said that it bombed. And, you know, if you look at critic reviews, absolutely, you know, Rotten Tomatoes is pretty rotten on it. I think Metacritic's like, you know, it's like a 6. It's bad. It's not great. This is a film that made $750 million. That was its box office tape. Now, I can't speak to what the actors took in or the director, or, I think what's his name from the original Batman movie still gets a cut of every DC movie ever made. So who knows about all those things? But nothing that does a box office of $750 million is a bomb in my mind. Maybe Chris is right. Maybe as DC fans, we were so starved for something that we all were willing to go and see it and spend money on it. But a bomb would have been 200 million or 80 million on opening weekend, and 20 million the next.
Say it was a critical failure.
A bomb is anything that loses money, and it did lose money.
I think the entire DC movie universe has lost money, though, hasn't it?
No.
Has anything made money in DC movies?
I think Man of Steel and Batman v Superman both made money.
No, Batman versus Superman didn't make money.
I sure watched it enough times that they should have.
They should have. And the reason I say they didn't make money is because of all of those back end deals that they've had in place since the era of the Keaton Batman films.
Yeah, it's hard to tell really
Stinger.
like all the math after.
Right.
Like after where the box office goes. If you just include production costs and marketing, I think they've all made money. But all that stuff afterwards, that's what really like.
So Batman v Superman costs $260 million to film, and then usually double that to get the budget for marketing.
Yeah. Right.
It made $872.7 million.
Right. So there's $300,000. Do we?
No.
Sorry, $300 million. Sorry,
million.
Do we think that $300 million wasn't soaked up by the corporate executives and the executive producers and the contract deals there? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty sure it did.
That's not the point, though. The point, if you listen to anyone who works in Hollywood, whoever gives you your money, as long as you give them their money back with maybe a little bit on top, that's what matters. You can make movies forever.
Right.
So yeah, you're right when we do these whole structures, maybe, but at the end of the day, it cost X and it made a lot more than that. Yeah. So it made money.
Suicide Squads. What was Suicide Squads? Because if it costs, because you're saying that did 800 some million, Suicide Squad did 750 some million. You could not have cost $300 million more to make Suicide Squad than it did to make Batman Superman.
I was probably on the low end.
I just can't believe that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
325 million.
So all right, so we double it. That's 650. They made $100 million.
Yeah,
they made money. It wasn't a bomb.
It made money. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That was, I think, the discussion, wasn't it? Weren't we saying it made money? It wasn't a bomb.
No, I mean,
maybe it didn't make the bank they expected.
And I don't just mean with critics, because critics are going to judge movies on a different. I'm not saying that critics' reviews don't matter. I think they do matter. I think they're educated in a thing but I don't always care what critics, because I'm not looking for the same things they're looking for as people with PhDs in fucking film art, whatever the fuck. But the thing is that it was a critical failure, like G said, from the critics and the users. I don't know that it's fair to talk about money, any superhero movie, post Dark Knight. Because people want superhero movies. Mm-hmm. You can put out garbage and it's gonna pack the theaters. Now, what are people saying after the $750 million have been spent? Well, they're not what Danny and you were saying. You know what I mean, right? I mean, you guys know that. That's the joke. You're gonna stick up for your movie. You know that most people don't like it. But, well, to bring it back to the topic, that's not going to be the case with Suicide Squad because I haven't seen one person say they don't like it. So, at least we have that in common.
There you go.
Wait till those Marvel shills come out of the woodwork.
I'm a Marvel shill. There's no.
I was just kidding. Yeah. How often do you get paid by Disney, Robo? To talk shit about the DC movies.
I'll say
my studio here is the Disney
cool.
money.
That's a good deal. Yeah. I wish I got a check for defending the DC movies.
Right?
I'd be rich.
Snyder sends you a check every week. Don't lie.
If he just give me a phone call, I'll be like, cool.
Just in case say hi.
Do you have Justice League executive producer or co-executive producer listed under all your social media?
I bet I've watched it more than most of the checks. I'll say that.
We should get together sometime and talk about our love for really bad DC movies. We should do that at some
You guys
point.
really?
I won't be there, but okay.
I don't know that I have any, but yeah, we can try.
Hey, so check this out. I think I can't remember Judah's schedule, but either way, he'll be there with it. Next Wednesday on Live from the Apocalypse, we'll go over news. But let's have a special segment on Wednesday before Not Near Mint about DC movies. Are they as bad as everyone thinks they are? And have you? As a matter of fact, Chris, you wanna be there, being the voice of opposition?
With reason, maybe.
That's more accurate.
Yeah, if I'm able to, I have to look at my schedule. But yeah.
For sure.
I may have added this new movie to the list of rankings by then, maybe. So
okay, all right, yeah. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk offline. G,
Yes.
you got anything to say?
I'd come watch the Goonies.
Yeah, that was supposed to start 20 minutes ago. Sorry, ladies, gentlemen.
Oh, it's been playing this entire time just on a loop.
Before we leave, since Judah's not here, I feel like I should take this role. Usually, we all give it a rating of some sort.
Oh yeah. How many Harleys do you give this movie?
Out of 5 Harleys, how many Harleys do you give it, Dan?
I think right now I'm sitting at 4.
Lower than I expected.
How many Harleys did you give the first one?
I'll actually have it open here. It has 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably 4.5. I'm still sitting on it.
I'm not Chris. I'm okay with anyone liking Suicide Squad. Anybody telling me this was better, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Oh, that's not true. That's simply a lie.
I can't make that argument. No.
Erica, man, how many Harleys do you give this Suicide Squad?
This Suicide Squad will get 4.5 big Harleys from me, and I'll tell you why. It's not getting 5 Harleys. Boomerang.
Fair.
Boomerang.
Fair.
Yeah.
Me muns.
Yeah.
What? Me? Oh. I'm not familiar with that scale. I rate on Cheddar Bay biscuits, and it's 8 Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Is it out of 10 Cheddar Bay biscuits?
Yeah.
No, it's actually out of 9.
It's like 9 and.
No, I don't know how the math goes.
But yeah, the conversion isn't perfect. I don't think. But.
Okay, so 8.
I'm actually shocked. I thought I was going to be the low end on this one, but I'll give it a 4. I would definitely give it like an 8 out of 10. I wasn't as high as a lot of people were on it. It gets a point for killing off Boomerang, and then takes away a point for then killing Polka Dot Man.
You motherfucker.
He's been trying to get this fight to happen. We're gonna have an exhibition MMA
for the record, Miracle Man, I know where you live.
I know where you live too, bitch.
Do you guys know each other in real life? You guys just talked about where you guys live.
We have a mutual friend in common.
No,
yeah,
shit.
we do, as a matter of
Wow,
fact. Yeah,
fucking small world.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah, I would call it a 4.5 Harleys out of 5. I'll familiarize myself with the cheddar biscuits after this, so I can be ready next time.
Oh my god, please!
I'm gonna actually, you know how back in the day they would have like a chart in the back of like your loose leaf notebook. Yeah. And it would be like, 1 star equals 5 like kicks in the dick.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Cheddar Bay Harley conversion, and I'll disseminate it for any future film watching.
I would greatly appreciate that. I would, but without that, I'll give it 4.5. I can't give it a 5 because it's not the MCU. So what the fuck what do you expect from me?
Yeah, Robo. Yeah.
There's a reason they call you motherfuckers Marvel zombies. All right.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, real quick. On Amazon, the 2016 movie has 4.5 stars, and it's fucking blowing my mind.
Out of what?
Have you seen that rocket he made?
To be fair, it was out of 30 stars, so 4.5 really.
That's the correct way to do
so
it.
yeah.
I'm going on Amazon right now.
There's a lot of 5-star reviews of this movie. It's interesting.
Holy God, that's crazy.
Okay.
We don't have to go down a rabbit hole, but are any of those? Do they use the
Air
word
cut
woke or SAW in any of those?
There's a lot of verified purchases. That's all I can see.
Wow.
Yeah, those are
Maybe they just had good
those
packaging
videos
on
that
the.
like it, the one people
Yeah,
watch.
they just had good packaging on the DVD.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, I got the air cut right here, extended cut, right there. Why
That's
are we
not
still
the air
talking about
cut.
this online?
That's
No.
not the air cut.
No, they need him to give him $70 million to shoot 3 scenes.
Hey, hashtag release the air cut.
Let's
Oh,
do it.
you're killing me.
Hashtag fuck off, Robo.
For the fourth time, ladies and gentlemen, Emmys, that is the end of our show. Thank you for joining us. If you're still with us, if you're watching this later, then good. Like and subscribe and check us out. We will be here. We got what I thought Chris was going to do is Saturday we're going to be talking about Valiant and Valiant Club. Check us out on our Twitter. We'll have all the times and stuff out there. Judah's been pushing that out. Sunday we're going to be talking about Neil Gaiman's Sandman with Delirium Hour. And then, of course, as usual, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, come check us out on our live stream. Next week, we will be talking about the DCEU.
Come see me tomorrow on Club Valiant. And I've been way too positive here, so I'm going to pent up all my negativity for that book tomorrow.
Nice.
Stop on by.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I'm going to watch that.
Can't wait to tune in.
all right, y'all. Take it easy.